phonemic awareness. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, say big.
Big.
Change b to d.
Dig.
Say sat.
Sat.
Change s to m.
Mat.
Good job. Say pot.
Pot.
Change p to l.
Lot.
Say get.
Get.
Change g to b.
Bit.
Say mass.
Mass.
Change m to l.
Glass.
Say cut.
Cut.
Change the k to b.
But.
Say when.
When.
Change the w to t.
10.
Good job. All right. So that was our beginning sounds. We're going to look at the middle sounds, okay? You ready? Here we go. Change, or excuse me, say bass.
Bass.
Change a to o.
Bose.
Okay. Say rip.
Rip.
Change I to a.
Rap.
Good job. Say sad.
Sad.
Change a to e.
Sad.
Say feel.
Feel.
Change e to a.
Ale.
Say rock.
Rock.
Change the a to I.
Rip.
Say bag.
Bag.
Change the a to I.
Big.
Good. Say wash.
Wash.
Change the a to I.
Wish.
All right, that was our middles. We're going to be changing the ending sounds. Okay? Say big.
Big.
Change g to t.
Bit.
Say sat.
Sat.
Change t to m.
Sam. Oh, okay.
Yep, that's it. Say pot.
Pot.
Change the t to p.
Pop.
Say rash.
Rash.
Change the sh to t.
Rap.
Say mass.
Mass.
Change the s to t.
Nat.
Say cup.
Cup.
Change the p to d.
Cub.
Say when.
When.
Change the n to g.
Wig.
Good. Fantastic job. Getting good at those. All right. All right, grab your marker. Try this one. Say Sal and write. Add t and tell me what you have. Good. Salt. Good. Here's your eraser if you need it. Write tray. Add in.
Train.
Okay. Say and write fla.
Fluff.
Fla. Fla. Okay. Add b to the end of that word. Okay.
Flaw.
Okay. Look at that again. What is it?
Flaw.
Okay.
Flaw.
So what does it say again? Check that A out. It's a vowel and the consonant alone. So is it going to be a long or short sound for the A?
It's only gonna be a long, so.
Long?
No, it's
Remember,
gonna be short.
short. Remember that long sound comes from that E, and we don't have an E there, so it's going to have an A sound. So if we put that together,
Flab.
good. So sound out. F, la, a, b. F, la, ab. Blab. Okay. All right. Say par or write par. Add the sound k to the end.
Park.
Okay. Now look at that. Does that make sense for the word park? We have the right sound, but what do we need to add there or change there?
You need to put it.
If we put an E, what will that do? The E will make, yeah, so that's not what we're looking for. So say the word that you know you have there.
Park.
Park. So the ending sound. K. Where else could that come from?
K.
CK or just the,
C.
or just the.
K.
Good.
K.
K, that's it, you got it. So park. All right. Are you ready? Write bell. Now add or change the end of the word to have t there. Belt, good job. All right. Write shell. Add a f to the end.
Shell.
Okay. Now look at it. What adjustments do we need to make?
Take a.
There you go. Awesome job. Okay. Say ban or write ban.
Band.
And we're going to add d to the end.
Band.
Good. Awesome job. All right. Say ruler.
Ruler.
Say it again, but don't say
Rule.
Say teach.
Teach.
Say it again, but don't say ch.
T.
Say book.
Book.
Now say it again, but don't say k.
Book.
Okay. So write the word book for me. And if we take that k off, what do you have there?
Boo.
Boo. The double O, that's right, changes those sounds together. All right, carpet. Say carpet.
Carpet.
Now say it again, but not with the t.
Card. Carp.
Okay. Math.
Math.
Say it again without the th.
Math.
Okay. Let's write the word math. I know you know how to spell this one. And if we take that TH off, what did you end up with?
Math. M-A.
Okay, math. What else could it be? How else do we pronounce that A?
Long A.
No, long A would be May, and it doesn't have that E with it.
So short A.
A short A. And then,
May.
and so if we have the ma and the may, we also have that R sound, or that aw. So ma.
Oh,
Ma, yep. All right. Say read.
Read.
Now say it again without the duh.
Read.
Okay. We'll say write.
Write.
Now say it again without the t.
Write.
Okay. Say pen.
Pen.
And say it again without the n.
Pen.
Good job. All right. We're getting much better at those. Which one's harder for you? The beginning sounds, the middle sounds, or the end sounds?
The end.
The end is harder for you? Sometimes I think for me it's the middle part that I have trouble hearing sometimes the changes of it. All right. So today we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to compare and contrast a couple of things. We're going to talk about fact and opinion real quick and point of view. But I thought we'd do it with the stories that you should be very familiar with. So the first one we're going to watch real quick, and it's the Three Little Pigs. Have you ever heard this one before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you all right. This is the classic one that everybody has heard.
By James Marshall. Once upon a time, an old sow sent her 3 little pigs out into the world to seek their fortune. Now be sure to write business, thank you, said the little pig. And he bought the straw and set about building a house. It took him no time at all. Very soon, a lean and hungry wolf happened by. Pig was just about his favorite food in the world. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. This annoyed the wolf to no end, and he said, then I'll puff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Go right ahead, said the little pig. So the wolf puffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in, and he gobbled up the little pig. The second little pig met a man with a load of sticks. I've got it, said the little pig. I'll buy those sticks and build a house. I'd think twice about that, said the man. Oh, pooh, said the little pig. What would you know? And he bought the sticks and went to work building a house. Very pretty, he said. No sooner had the little pig settled into his pretty house than the wolf happened by. He was still hungry, and he said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. The wolf didn't care for that at all, and he said, I'll puff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Ha, 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 said the little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in, and he gobbled up the little pig. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks. These bricks will make a fine, sturdy house, said the man. Capital idea, my good fellow, said the little pig. So he bought the bricks and set about building a house. It took him quite a bit of time, but it was well worth it. Nice and solid, said the little pig. Nice and solid. But no sooner had the little pig moved in than he noticed the wolf loitering about. And the wolf, who was still hungry, said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
Is there a word on that page you wasn't sure about? No? Do you know what all the words meant? How about loitering? Did you see that one? It said, but no sooner had the little pig moved than he noticed the wolf loitering about.
Like walking about?
Walking about. Sometimes when you go and you see signs at the stores and it says no loitering. So would it be okay to loiter or walk in a store? We walk in the store. I walk in the grocery store every day. So what do you think? Loitering's not really just walking. What do you think it might be? Hanging outside his house.
Waiting out, like.
Waiting. Yeah, it's kind of a creepy little guy hanging outside your house, right? So loitering is just hanging around, not really having a point or a purpose. So when sometimes the stores tell us that you can't loiter, that means you can't hang out by the doors and try to get people to give you money without a reason or ask them questions for rides, stuff like that. So loitering is being there without a real point or purpose. Okay?
Loitering about. And the wolf, who was still hungry, said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, the wolf had heard that before, and he said, then I'll puff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Oh, don't do that, said the little pig. But the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, until he was quite blue in the face. The house didn't burn. I'll try another approach, muttered the wolf, and he put on his most dazzling smile. Little pig, I was only teasing, he said. By the way, I hear tell that Farmer Jones has the most scrumptious
Scrumptious. You know what that means?
Like good.
Yeah, good. I'm not sure I would use that adjective for turnips. I don't like
The next
turnips.
morning, the little pig got up at 5, hurried off to Farmer Jones's turnip field, picked a basket full of scrumptious turnips, and dashed back home. When the wolf arrived at 6, the turnips were already boiling in the pot. "Sorry, I couldn't wait," said the little pig. The wolf tried not to show his displeasure. "No harm done," he said. "By the way, there is a lovely apple tree down in Merry Meadow. Shall we go help ourselves to a few apples?" "I must cook my turnips," said the little pig. "Let's meet there tomorrow morning." "Splendid," said the wolf. "Shall we say at 5? Then next morning, the little pig was up at 4 and went off for the apples. It took longer than he'd expected to reach Merry Meadow, and while busy gathering apples in the highest tree, he saw the wolf approaching. "Do try one of these," he called down, throwing an apple as far as he could. When the wolf chased after the apple, the little pig shimmied down the tree and made it safely home. The next day the wolf came again. Really, he was quite put out. "There's a fair today on Hog Hill," he said. "Would you care to go?" "Why don't we meet there?" said the little pig. "Would 3 o'clock suit you?" "Colossal," said the wolf. 3 it is. Just to make sure, he would be there at 2. At 1 in the afternoon, the little pig went to the fair and had a fine time. So fine that he lost track of the hour. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the wolf coming up the hill. Without a minute to spare, the little pig jumped inside an empty butter churn and rolled down the hill toward the wolf. Well, the wolf was so scared, he ran all the way home. That evening, the wolf went to the little pig's house and told him how frightened he'd been by a great round thing that came down the hill. "Frightened you, did I?" said the little pig. "That great round thing was a butter churn, and I was inside." This was simply too much for the wolf to stand. "I've been nice long enough," he cried. "I'm going to eat you up right now." And he climbed onto the roof. When the little pig saw this, he put a big iron pot in the fireplace and quickly stoked the fire. "Here I come," cried the wolf. "Dinner time." "You can say that again," said the little pig, and he cooked the mean old wolf and gobbled him up.
Have you ever heard that version?
No.
That's the classic version of it. So you probably have heard the version of where he huffs and puffs and blows the straw house down, huffs and puffs and blows the wood house down, huffs and puffs and blows the brick house down, and or tries to get up there and blow it down and falls in the chimney. But you probably haven't heard the fair part. That's new for you and stuff. Well, this one might be new for you too. This one's the true story of the 3 little pigs. So when we were listening to that story, there was someone telling the story, the narrators who tells the story. And this one is going to be told by a different narrator. So we're going to read this together. And I'm going to read and you're going to follow along. And we're going to find out the true story of the 3 little pigs. Now, everybody knows the story of the 3 little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You could call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault. Wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think they were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back, once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig. He wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig, little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home with a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. Uh-oh, I'm going to reread that. I don't think I said that right. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. It makes a big difference there. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. Well, it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still did not have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. You're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail, wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear, sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I'd had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big, bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. So, what do you think about that version?
That's way different.
Way different, right? So, as the narrator of this one, and we talk about points of view, are you familiar with point of view at all? Okay. So, if I asked you to tell me something in your point of view, what kind of words would you use?
Like, in my opinion.
In my opinion, yep, talking about my. Use the word I. Let's look at this PowerPoint I have real quick here. Just to refresh us.